It was dawn when we reached the city.
Land in the Central Security Compound.
A dawn my tribe would never see. They were no more than a note in Reich's book now.
Today we're playing on Beneath the Still Sky. This is my choice of game. You haven't played it before, have you?
I know pretty much nothing about this.
Yeah, this is one of my childhood games, actually. I think it came out in, I think it was 94, so quite a way away.
I'm getting a real strong Judge Dredd vibe from it.
Yeah.
I don't know when 2000 AD started, so was that around 94? Would that be their heyday? Or
I don't know, earlier than 90s, I'd say. But the thing is, I don't know if you've actually recognised this art style before, but this is the art of Dave Gibbons, who did the art for Watchmen. And this is kind of like one of the reasons why this game should be a bigger deal than what it actually is. But I believe, I'm not sure, and don't quote me on this, I believe that Dave Gibbons actually did some art for Judge Dredd at some point. He's kind of been pretty much everywhere. And I mean, the most noticeable is Watchmen because of kind of how big that comic was, and I don't know, revolutionary at the time as well, because no other comic was really as serious as that was being at that time. One of the things I love about this game is that it's a collaboration between a very good artist and, well, very good game developers. They went on to make Broken Sword, these same people, and they made Lure of the Temptress as well, which was also a very good adventure game.
Now, I have played Broken Sword, at least I played some of Broken Sword.
Yeah.
I got stuck at the annoying goat problem, which I do now know how to solve, thanks to the internet, but I've just not gone back to it.
Yeah.
Lure of the Temptress I've not heard of though either. Is this Earth? We got the Foster scan, I'm thinking this is sort of future Earth, bit like Judge Dredd.
I'd say, yeah. It's like a sci-fi Earth kind of thing. I believe, I don't think it actually said anything about specific places on Earth, but yeah, it's basically cyberpunk sci-fi kind of game.
I can get down with that.
Yeah. And I don't think... I mean, there were a couple of games that came out as point-and-click adventure games, like I Have No Mouth but I Must Scream. That was like another kind of cyberpunky, weird kind of thing.
I always get these two confused, because I don't know that much about either of them. That was Harlan Ellison, wasn't it? I Have No Mouth.
I can't actually remember at all.
I just know that's supposed to be a really mature...
Very mature. Very, very mature. And this game, specifically this game, is stupidly mature for the time that it was made. During that time, there wasn't really much. I mean, there was fighting games and stuff like that, and there was the odd game that would show a bit of gore, like, I don't know, Mortal Kombat, anything like that. This game, it really kind of shows some really adult themes in terms of how people speak to each other, and some references made towards certain things. It's usually quite adult themed. There's even violence in this as well. There's like one truly like gory bit in this game. Which I remember watching when I was younger, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was playing it as a kid. I was like, I probably shouldn't be seeing this. And like, I know probably people looking at this game is like, what? There's gore in this game? It probably looks stupid.
It's gore. It's not gore for gore's sake. It's not a Grand Theft Auto, like early Grand Theft Auto style.
No.
Because there have been gory games for a while.
Yeah. It's more like it's there for the story. And I guess they just had a bit of fun with it because Dave Gibbons is the kind of guy who would want to put that kind of thing inside of, I don't know, his comic books, inside of his art. I mean, you can see in Watchmen, there's quite a nice bit of, like, blood and gore in there.
Well, keep off that elevator! I can't hear myself think! Where did you get that robot?
I built him. Like it?
It's crap, son.
And that actually brings me on to my next point. The game developers, apparently there was a bit of a quarrel. I know exactly what to do. Wait a sec, I just need to concentrate here because it's a quick little bit. I have to go through this cupboard door and pick up his sandwich before he
gets back in.
Yeah, but he's already in, so I can't take it. There is also a wrench there, sorry. So if I leave the door open, hopefully it stays open, but I don't think it will. But yeah, there were two game developers specifically who are scripting this game. One of them, I'm actually going to look this up because it's going to annoy me if I don't actually say who it is. Okay, so it was Charles Cecil, and I believe it was Dave Cummins, who, I don't think you'd ever recognise those names, to be honest. But basically one of them liked the style of LucasArts, who is mainly Monkey Island.
Yeah.
So the kind of slapstick comedy.
That's the point and clicks I'm familiar with. That's the stuff that I grew up with.
Yep. Don't close the goddamn cupboard door.
What are you doing?
Damn it! But yeah, and the other one liked the serious edge of Sierra games, like King's Quest kind of thing. Like it wasn't always serious, and I feel like that was said with a pinch of salt, because they have made a lot of games like Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry that are quite tongue-in-cheek and very, very kind of humour-based. But so what they basically did, they had to make a compromise. So they both add in parts of their own kind of edge and script. Yeah, I know he's following. He's going to go to the other panel first, so it gives me a little bit of time. Sandwich. Yes, and wrench. Oh, damn it! wait. Yes, I got the sandwich though. So I just need to get the wrench now.
The fool doesn't even see his sandwich is gone.
Exactly. And that's what I absolutely love about this thing. I absolutely love when people put comedies in stuff, but I love the serious kind of stuff as well. There's a few things out there that they really do mix it really well together, where they'll put some sort of goofy kind of thing inside of that film or game, but overly, like, the whole kind of setting and mood and tone of the game is quite serious.
Give me an analysis, Joey.
It's a 30mm wrench, and you can keep it away from my nuts.
What to do? Walk through, please.
Okay, we've taken the wrench from the cupboard. Sandwich is optional.
Oh, is it?
Sandwich is optional.
Why is it optional?
There's no way of changing the sequence.
Return to the elevator room. No, the transporter droid will put barrels on the lift.
I need to start up the
I
transporter.
can't operate it without the key. Can you open that door?
I'll give it a try.
No sudden moves, Overman. Get over to the furnace.
You're Officer Reich, I presume. You've made a mistake. I'm not Overman.
Link, we can't let him escape.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? Reich seems pretty cut up
What the
about
hell,
it,
man?
but he's given me two leads, Overman and Link.
So yeah, this is the kind of gore that I'm talking about in this game. Like,
Yeah.
you see that? He just got, like, sliced in half.
Yeah, and then we made a dickish James Bond style pun about it.
It was pretty cool, though. I did like it. Reich, he's basically coming to get you for some reason or another. You don't quite know why yet. And this camera on the
He was
left
carrying an
is
ID card.
directly
The card may
hooked
be
up to
useful.
Link, who is the
And I'll take
mainframe
his
that
dark
seems to control this
glasses, too.
city. He's basically the leader of some sort. Why would the leader of the city, who obviously sent this guard come after you, why would he kill him? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. Oh, yeah. I find it really interesting because so far we've been set up to think that Reich is going to be the big bad guy of the game.
Yeah.
Even with his name, Reich, got connotations with, Nazi Germany and everything. The fact it's put a big twist in straight away, I'm now intrigued. I think it's a good start to a game.
Yep. And it doesn't really stop there, to be honest. It keeps kind of throwing different punches throughout the game, and it took me a while to complete this game because it's actually quite difficult to work out what you have to do in certain places. Like, there's certain items that are hard to kind of find, and it's one of those adventure games, and I think that's why it was kind of given a hard time with certain people. Critics loved this game. Like, it was reviewed very well when it came out, but nobody played it, I don't think. If you look past the stupid point-and-click tropes, which unfortunately did come with point-and-click games back in the day.
Is there still a lot of the let's just try combining every item in our inventory?
Yes.
And something will work, that even though there's no logic behind it?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I think it's less combining. I don't know, I can't remember if you combine, but it's more like, okay, let's try the wrench on here. Let's have a look at this because we haven't looked at it before. I'll just use the wrench on the button.
I've looked
Which worked! I didn't actually remember how to do that, so I assume there's a reason for that. I don't know, just press the button. Interesting. But yeah, it's that's one of the things about point-and-click games that I really disliked. I never used to like how you'd have to try absolutely everything to try and do something. Like, for instance, Day of the Tentacle. This is a perfect representation of what I absolutely hate. And I know that I don't like the idea of talking about stuff I hate, but I feel like I have to say it. In Day of the Tentacle, there is a car in the back of the building, and you basically need a key to get into the back of the car to get a crowbar to be able to get something else. I think it's a piece of gum on the floor that you have to get a dime out of and stuff like that. And basically, those keys, you can't find them until you decide to randomly close this door of this person's hotel room, and it happens to be just hanging on the back of the door. The hell? It took me so long to figure that out, and this was back when, like, I didn't have internet when this was going on, I didn't think to look it up.
I remember playing Monkey Island 2 and having to phone a friend to be like, so I'm stuck at this bit. How do I get through here?
Yeah. Back then, you couldn't look it up on the internet. I mean, and funny enough, it wasn't until I actually was able to get a walkthrough for Beneath the Still Sky that I was able to actually complete the game, because it was just, there's certain parts in this game where it's ridiculous. You can't figure out. I'm sure people have, but I couldn't figure it out. Would you say this looks like quite a nice game?
For its time, I'd say, yeah. Certainly a very distinct style.
Yeah. Also, I'm actually just going to quickly save it because I know that you can die in this game. There's specifically a part in this bit where you can die in. I just type in a random thing. There we go. Obviously, they had some sort of limitation. It was the pixels. They didn't have enough pixels to be able to kind of build up a proper image on the screen, and I guess there was a lot of art direction, and this that kind of just goes into it, and you can only do so much with pixels when you're trying to actually make a descriptive looking kind of image. And apparently when they actually made this game, Dave Gibbons, he just drew all of it, and then they scanned it onto a computer, and I think this is actually how it just appeared because of the resolution that I assume they changed the resolution of how the scanned image was, but that's basically how it was. I like the fact that we've kind of looped back on ourselves now. The fact that a limitation for this game has now turned into a positive for newer games, where newer games are trying to get this kind of style for I'd say mainly for nostalgic reasons.
I saw some concept art recently drawn for one of the, I think it was one of the early Metal Gear games, like one of the proper old Metal Gear games.
Yeah.
Where the concept art was actually drawn on graph paper, so that when the digital artists got it, they could have a good idea of like what would be in each pixel.
Yeah. That's a lot of work as well. Doing that. Developers, game companies like Wadget Eye. I don't know. Did you say you played any of those games?
No. I originally bought a load of Wadget Eye. Well, a few Wadget Eye games from a sale on GOG. Not played any of them yet though.
Yeah. The majority of them are well worth playing. They have really good storylines, and one of the main things is they basically take influence from games like Beneath the Still Sky, where it is a pixelated world, and they purely make the art to look exactly like that. And again, for nostalgic reasons, but because it does actually look good. And then when these companies are actually tailoring to making it look pixelated, it looks even better. Because obviously there's colour. The amount of colour that they were able to put on the screen, I think it's like, 256? They were only able to put like 256 colours for this specific game or something like that. I think it was 256. But then it went into like having 16-bit and 32-bit, which were able to put millions of colours on the screen at once.
While we're on the subject of colour, I think Dave Gibbons did a really good job of building this world. And
I mean, it's the contrasting colours as well. Like it's quite orange and
rusted. It looks rusted to me.
It's got warm colours, but you don't think it's a warm world.
No,
it's very kind of robotic and there's a lot of metal in it, and the fact that the guards are kind of this purpley blue and then everything else is orange. It all kind of
they really pop out.
Yeah, they're contrasting colours as well. Like even Joey here is like a little pale blue. And one of the things I saw that they were talking about as well is they had to specifically, I think they paled down the landscape so you can see the characters a lot better or something like that. But even how he just gels into the world he looks like he just fits there.
Yeah.
Even though he's like a moving character inside of it, but he is there, and it kind of feels like you're playing a cartoon kind of thing as well. That's the kind of art style behind it, and I think I assume when they made this game they wanted to really kind of get across a comic book-esque kind of thing, which is why there was a comic book introduction. I assume they were just trying to put the animation straight into the computer, and this is the best thing they can come out with in terms of the limitations that they have, and it makes a certain style to the game, which is just amazing.
It's not about a domestic.
Well, I mean, Dave Gibbons is one of the artists who really helped to make comic books feel like a medium for adults.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it would make sense to
bring them on board with Beneath the Steel Sky to kind of do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Who is Overman?
I mean, with point-and-click adventures, there's only a handful of games that I can actually think of which deal with adult themes. Like, can you think of any other point-and-click games during that time
I'm here
that dealt with that? I know that Monkey Island had.
That's right.
They had the double
Routine
entendres
inspection.
kind of thing where they could get away with it.
It was all quite silly.
Yeah.
The LucasArts games were for children. Well, for children and adults. But
yeah. Okay, I need to actually figure out what I'm doing next.
So if Wadget Eye games are essentially the spiritual successor to this, it'd be worth comparing them with, say, Broken Age and Thimbleweed Park, the Ron Gilbert one, to see how...
No, actually, I hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah, Ron Gilbert, Monkey Island co-creator, he's doing a new point-and-click game, which may be out already. I haven't been following it at all.
See, I haven't played either that or Broken Age yet. I know the general kind of art style of it is very new, and obviously the people that made these games with the limitations in the past have now improved on their games to make them look better and have the gameplay better so that the point-and-click ideals inside of it actually fit better. And I do prefer that to a certain degree. If the gameplay does actually has an improvement, then that's fine. The only thing is, like with Wadget Eye games, and I know that like Broken Age probably does need like a smooth art style, and that's what it transferred to. But with Wadget Eye, they went back to these kind of limited art styles, but they also improved on the gameplay. And that's one of the key things. If you play Gemini Rue, that actually adds new gameplay elements. There's a gunfighting element that they put in there, which it was pretty awesomely done. Like, it was a cover system inside of a click and point adventure game, and it worked really well. But I don't know, I mean, I need to play Broken Age. Double Fine have changed quite a bit as a company. It seems like all of their properties have moved on to Telltale games now. As much as The Walking Dead, how good The Walking Dead was with Telltale games, I don't generally like their way of doing point and click.
Well, they're not really trying to do the same sort of thing with point and click. I don't know if there is a proper term for it, but I tend to call it the modern adventure game, which is much more about the story and the player making decisions than is about puzzle solving. But no, I think with Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us and the others from there on, they found their own unique style.
Yeah.
Which I think is working really well for them, and I really enjoy that sort of game where it is about the player making decisions and it's asking the player, well, what do you think is the right thing to do in this situation?
Yeah. Well, giving choices, isn't it? No, I completely understand that.
When you think about the whole point of video games, they're an interactive experience, and there's two ways that could go. You've got you've got puzzles to solve, things to react to, which tests the player.
Yeah.
Or you've got decisions to make, which questions the player, if you see the difference between those two.
Also, I actually want to know, what's your opinion of the game?
I think a lot of the appeal from the graphics come from the sense of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Which I have to an extent. I did play these sorts of games when I was younger, or at least I played the Monkey Island, the LucasArts games when I was younger. I feel like I could definitely appreciate a more mature version of those.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to play this game some more. I'd be more than happy to give this a try. I think it looks interesting enough.
If any of you want us to actually start playing more of it as a long play, we do have a category of long plays that will be doing stuff. We can easily just go through the entire game on that. More content for you to watch. Just leave a comment down below if you wanted that. But no, I always loved this game, and it always kind of gave me that warm feeling inside when I played it. And then when I actually did finally finish it, I felt resolved from finishing it as well. And there's obviously a lot of unanswered questions at the moment inside of this game.
The story doesn't leave you hanging at any point. There's no plot holes. There's
Not from what I can remember, no. It just kind of follows through with the story. It can seem a bit far-fetched through some of it. Yeah, the only thing you can really do is kind of play it. Probably have like a walkthrough next to you, because one of the things that I never really liked about point-and-click adventure games was that I felt frustrated sometimes when trying to look for stuff. And that's exactly how I kind of felt playing this game when I couldn't get past a certain point. And I don't know, I feel like I like to have a walkthrough there sometimes now.
Now, I know we were going to be finishing the game, but one thing that's caught my eye here I want to bring up is the fact that we are descending into the city, and yet we're moving into a more affluent area.
Yeah.
Which is kind of reverse of what you'd expect in modern society.
Exactly, yeah. It's like the working class are at the top of the buildings, but as you start to go down, it starts to get nicer and nicer. And funnily enough, it does. Like when you do go a bit further down, it does start to get a bit nicer as well. That was always a really, except from this place apparently.
No, it's still a travel company. It's still
a sculpture in the middle of
there's still
area.
Art and holidays and.
Yeah.
Whatever that sculpture is.
But I see
sort of hip bone debris. I love the animation of this character. You know as soon as you walk in, he's just going to be really unhelpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, a tourist area.
What's the mystery tour?
Especially with these kind of paintings in the wall, there's like the Statue of Liberty with literally just a giant American flag on there, and then Big Ben with the English flag. And then what the hell is that? Is that just a... Can I say it? Is it just a giant dong? Is that...
Dude, if your dong looks like that, then...
Well, I'm sorry. Maybe it's the limitation of the game. Maybe they could only do triangles. They can't get the circles in there.
These are all I've
A lot of the guards we've seen so far have been standing in the same pose that Foster's standing in, where it's designed to be... it's rigged to be animated in that way.
I mean, look at his teeth.
Just that his hand on the desk as well, he just seems a lot more engaged.
Hello.
Hi. You look like a man who needs insurance. Can I interest you in this?
This is Beneath the Still Sky. Go check it out.
We'll put a link to the GOG page.
Yeah.
In the section below.
Yeah, it's free. It's shareware, so you can literally go ahead, get it now. It's only 80 megabytes. And
that would explain why I had Beneath the Still Sky in my my GOG account.
Yeah. It is completely free.
I had no idea about that.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Oh.
I thought I must have bought it a while ago. Totally forgotten about it. Pretty much forgotten the game existed.
Yeah. But they basically, with GOG as well, with all these old games, they use stuff like DOSBox and ScumVM, which are emulators to basically help run these games on newer systems. So they'll be able to, regardless of what system you'll have, they should be able to run on your system. So yeah, go out and play it.
Yeah, please check it out and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Tell you what, take time to consider it, yeah?
Really do much. I didn't feel like I was doing that. Oh my god. That was amazing.
And here they all come running now.
Yeah. Oh, they're all going to get screwed over. Oh wow, his helmet went flying. Oh, he learnt.